Derrick, let's just start talking about where do you feel the running backs room is at this point in training camp?
Yeah, great question. I think the guys are competing. They're doing a great job of coming out every day and trying to focus on the things that we are going over in the meeting rooms every day and paying attention to detail. We can clean up a lot of that stuff right now, but as we said from the jump when we first got in here, and it's been Shotty's message and our message carries over, is like we're competing every day. So I've been pleased with the effort and the attitudes of the room. And so where we are right now, there's still more work to be done, but I kind of like where we are.
With the addition of the two rookies in Maffa and Blue, and the addition of two veterans in Javvante and Miles, there's a lot of competition, a lot of cross-pollination. Guys are versatile, but when you have guys like Miles and Deuce and they're dealing with injury, how difficult is it for you as a position coach to try to sort through all of that, knowing that you have guys that are out right now?
Yeah, at the end of the day, man, we got to make adjustments. It's a part of the game that we have to. It's tough that those two guys are not in the fold right now, but the other guys have picked up the slack. You got guys like Hunter Lepke stepping in and playing some running back for us, and then you got guys like Jaden Blue and Maffa. They're getting some experience. They're getting their first taste of what it feels like to be the next man up. And so that's one of the main things we try to talk about in our room is like you never know when your number's going to be ready. And so just stay ready so you got to get ready. And so we're preparing that way. And so when the other guys get back, man, the guys will pick up where they left off. I'm pretty confident in that. And so, it's a good thing for the other rookies too to get that, work.
What's your approach with Hunter? We know that he splits time, and I understand that there are even some days where he's tight ends instead of backs. But have you worked with a player before who has that much versatility that he's actually splitting time between position groups?
Since I've been in the NFL, I would say not as versatile as he is. Man, this guy can do it all. He's smart enough and capable enough to handle the capacity that we put on his plate, and he's constantly looking for ways to go get better at each position. And so between Lunda and I, we do a really good job of cross-training them both, so he's not missing any time on either side. And so he's done a great job of just embracing that role, man. I'm really, excited about where he is right now.
One thing about Jaden Blue, obviously, is his home run ability. Huge green flag coming out of Texas. But over the course of training camp practices, especially the padded practices, he's doing a lot of dirty runs, A-B gaps, and he's showing his ability and his vision. What stands out the most to you at this point versus when you first got your hands on him?
Yeah, Jaden's very patient. He's a patient runner. He's got a real good feel for it. Got natural instincts, some of those traits that you really look for in a back. And I think once he sees that opening space, he's not been afraid to, stick it up inside in the hole and, really like try to lower his pass. Now, we still got to work on that a little bit. But he's really surprised me in terms of being able to run between the pads. And so that was one of the things that I really wanted to see, with his stature and his body build or whatever, could he do that? And I think he's done a really good job of displaying that ability to be able to run between the tackles.
Now, contrarily with Phil Maffa coming out of Clemson, he's more the bruiser, downhill back. What are you seeing as far as his development, as far as a player in space?
He's gotten, he's done some things and popped off on the tape at practice and, had some really good runs in his last few practices. Really been pleasantly, pleased with how he is, came along. He didn't get an opportunity to really just participate a whole lot in OTAs in terms of like on the field type stuff like that and get as many reps as the other guys. And I think right now what we're really seeing is him really just stringing together some days. He's a very smart and intelligent young man. His work ethic is there. And so I'm really looking forward to him this Saturday, getting him out on the grass in this preseason game.
Ever since he was drafted, Deuce Vaughn has been a fan favorite, obviously, for Cowboys fans, and yet we haven't got to see him in about a week and a half or so. What, can you give us an update on when you think he might return and hopes that he might even get some preseason action?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly when he will return, but he is engaged in our meetings. He comes out and he looks at, and walks around with us when we're doing our walkthrough and our mocks and things of that nature. He's very engaged at practice. When he's returning, I'm not sure. I'll leave that up to the athletic training department, but, for the most part, he's still engaged and he's a part of us.
Quick question, circling back to work ethic. There's this narrative floating around social media about Jaden Blue. You may or may have not have seen it. Just as his position coach, one who works with him, sees him every single day, what would you say about that young man's work ethic, how he attacks the game?
Man, he's growing, as a player. And I think when you come into this league as a young player, there's a lot of things that you don't know and that you figure out once you start getting your feet wet a little bit. And he's maturing in that regard. And I think, in the spring along that, He was a little far behind than we wanted him to. And I think now that he's came in now, he's shown a sign of professionalism, going about his business the right way, doing the small things and being detailed and dialed and stuff like that. He's a very smart player, and I don't think his work ethic is in question. I think he does a really good job in that regard. He just still has to, grow, and as most rookies do. And so I think that's where he is right now.
So saw Jaden. He even got some work yesterday at gunner. I mean, we know he's a return thing, but and like Maffa getting some work on teams as well. I guess when you're backup, you have to do that. But then also we have coaches talk about when the guys who were top runners for their teams, they come in, but here you have to do the pass protection. So is that, how are you pleased with the rookies' progress in that?
Can we be better? Absolutely. Where we are right now in training camp, I anticipated this. You know what I mean? Because it comes with time and it comes with reps. You got to be attention to detail because a lot of times you don't get those same amount of reps in college ball as you do here. And so the duty calls upon you to do a lot of different things, be on special teams. And that's why we always tell our guys, like, special team is a very pivotal part of playing this position. That's first off. You're not just going to make it solely just playing running back. You got to establish a role. The more you can do, the more you can help the team. Gives you a better opportunity to be up whenever it's time to be up on game day. And so that pass protection is a very crucial piece at playing this position. We talk about three things in our room, And first thing is protect the football. Second thing is protect the quarterback. And then third thing is go out there and play and have fun, And as long as we check those boxes, then we'll be sitting in a really good spot.
With Javvante Williams, he's had some knee injuries. How do you feel like he's moving here now that you've seen him for a little bit in camp?
Man, he's doing, an extremely really good job. I love his movements. He's moving well. He's practicing hard. He's finishing runs. You guys are at practice. You see him sprint down the field, 80-yard runs and finishing, and that's a part of what we do. That's a part of the standard is finishing, and he sets the tone when we get to that part. So working with this young man, I've been excited to do that, and I'm looking forward to continue to build with him as well.
And with the run game yesterday, Brian Schottenheimer said, he thought the offensive line got a little knocked back yesterday.
Yeah.
What is it like for you trying to evaluate how the running backs did when a day like yesterday, when the head coach is saying, I don't know if the offensive line brought their best performance?
Yeah, no, we don't focus on that. We focus on the things that we can do, at our position. We can be a little bit better, We can be a little bit better in our pad leverage. We can be a little bit better at setting up blocks on the first and second level. Maybe it's pressing the line of scrimmage a little bit more. We all got to work this like hand in glove. We got to work this thing together. It's just not the offensive line. It's the receivers, it's tight ends, it's the running backs. And so for us, we just take a look at what we can do better versus what everybody else is doing. And then I think that's the starting point for it all.
So for the running backs that we've talked about, there's one quasi-running back we haven't talked about, Kante Turpin. Can you just say what he brings to your room and the ability for him to add that kind of electricity whenever Brian Schottenheimer calls for it?
Man, Turp, it's funny because I got a chance to watch Turp in high school when I was at Northwestern State University, and he was in high school in Louisiana playing in the state championship game. So I've been watching this kid pretty much since he was a junior in high school. And so, man, to get out here and work with him, man, it's fun. He's electric. He loves football. Love being around this guy. No job's too big or small for Turp. Man, just call upon him and he'll try to execute to the best of his ability. And we've seen that.
Did you make any trips out to Neville to see him?
Wasn't my recruiting area, but I got a chance to watch him in the Superdome when he played in the state championship game.
Going back to Javvante, he has admitted the last couple of years in Denver, like, he still never felt 100% himself. And then I know this spring he said, he finally does. When you look back at his tape from those last 2 years in Denver and now, what is the difference you've seen?
I think he's done a really good job of really being patient and allowing things to develop up front. Not that he hadn't in the past, but you can kind of see there's a more attention to detail at doing that. His burst, acceleration, and explosiveness is there. He's powerful, he's strong, and he's very, very smart. Javvante knows how to solve problems, and especially when she's talking about pass protection. He's really good in pass protection. You trust him back there with Dak to protect the quarterback. And so that's one other thing that stands out to me is how smart he is and how fast he processes information.
What did you learn about your running backs from the joint practice yesterday that you feel like you can take away and really build upon?
A lot. A lot. Just starting, first off, man, we can play with better pad leverage. The fundamental things is really what sticks out to me. Is that's what we're trying to build upon, especially in this league. Everybody has talent, but we all can improve upon the fundamentals. So it can be pad leverage, it can be hand placement, it can be being eye discipline, where we're looking at in pass protection. And I thought we did a good job of securing the football. That was one thing that stood out, is that, we didn't fumble the football, knock on wood. I hate to say that word, but I was pleased in that regard. But we have several other areas, man, we can clean up and be a little bit more tight in that.
What is the collective thought process for the staff when you're evaluating your different backs, what you guys have, and trying to make a decision on, is a committee mindset the way to go, or is there a guy that we want to be the lead back?
Listen, we're so far away from just talking about this running back by committee or who's the lead black right now. We're still just trying to establish and stack days and still compete, because this room is diverse, right? Each guy brings a different trait. You talk about Javvante. He's got power. He's got strength. He's got great vision. He's good in pass protection. Like Jaden Blue, just going to a rookie, right? He's got explosive speed. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. And then you got a guy like Miles Sanders, who's a very versatile player too. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He's got good speed, great experience. Him and Javvante brings that experience. And then you got Amafa, who is a rookie and he's still learning, but he's big, he's strong. He's showing signs of that. And then Hunter Lepke and Deuce Vaughn. Deuce Vaughn's got explosive speed and got really good vision. And Hunter Lepke just being a utility guy to be able to do it all, because he's smart enough to handle it. I think that's kind of where we are. At the end of the day, we're going to need all these guys at some point in the season. So right now, we're just taking it one day at a time and watch them compete.
Is there a feeling, though, like you have a couple guys that could have the traits you need to be that lead back?
Not like is there a certain trait? Because each guy brings different things. Like, just because you're the lead back don't mean you're the fastest back, and just because you're the lead back don't make you the most strongest and toughest back. It's the most reliable guy at the time, who we trust in the backfield with the quarterback and the rest of the guys.
Do you remember the first time this offseason that Blue really caught your eye with his burst?
Ooh, great question. He had a run here a couple practices ago, and he kind of struck out and got some daylight there, and he exploded into the open field, and he was like, you really felt him. And this was, can't remember exactly what practice. It was like almost like on the outside zone. He stuck his foot in the ground and just burst and accelerated through the line of scrimmage, and it was like, okay, that's the burst and speed that we've been looking for. So, man, he's very talented and got some of that juice to where he can take it to home run.
What did you like about him coming out?
He like his speed. You like the fact that he can change directions. And then what I've found out about him is that he's got some toughness about him. And he's a competitor. Like, I like his mindset. Like, Blue is a competitor. He likes to compete. He loves football. He loves playing football. And he's pretty smart. He's really smart when it comes to football. He has some very good football intelligence.
Has Hunter surprised you a little bit just from a runner's perspective? Because we look at the fullback, we don't look at them as, you could bounce outside and those kinds of things.
Yeah, no, you know what? I would say I was surprised, but I'm really not, because he really takes time to understand and learn how to do certain things, and Hunter's got really good feet. And I think that's what helps him be able to change direction as best as he can. And at the fullback position, as we know, sometimes the picture changes. And so, yeah, he adjusts very well. He can run between the tackles. He understands the runs. Does he look as fluid as the other guys or how those other guys? But he can do it. He can do it. He had a really good run down yesterday in the red area, man. That was really good. Saw him change direction and cut back against the grain and try to puncture that in the end zone. So that was really good to see. So I'm not surprised at all.
What has stood out most to you about Brian Schottenheimer as a head coach?
Man, his level of detail and focus and his enthusiasm. Man, he's very enthused. Man, he's a guy that holds people accountable, like holding everybody accountable. It's just not the players, it's the coaches as well. The level of professionalism that he's displayed, and the communication piece. Like, I can go, there's a whole list of things that he's doing really well, which I'm very pleased with for a first-time head coach. But, man, his father, I'm pretty much laid the groundwork for him. And so, man, he's had that foundation built. So I'm not surprised at how he's operating right now as a head coach, And when you got a head coach like that, man, it's easy to kind of follow, especially when you understand his vision and the direction he wants to take this team.
How does he hold you guys accountable?
Oh man, it's the details. It's coaching your guys up. It's communicating constantly with your guys. It's making sure that we're not skipping steps. Hey man, did you have this prepped-in meeting, or did you guys talk about this, or let's you and I communicate amongst coaches. Like, it's a communication amongst coaches as well too. And so that's the piece where he's making sure that we're on top of our game as far as making sure the players are prepared and making sure that we're prepared every day.
How do you feel for you, one more, guys?
How do you feel for you guys having to run alongside the players that one day?
Oh, man. Listen, we all in this thing together, right? Like, we're all one team, man. We're family. We really believe that. We want to be connected. That was one of the other things that Shotty wanted us out of us, man, is to be connected with not only just ourselves as coaches, but with the players as well. And so, man, when you feel that and you're a family like that, you feel that connection, that family atmosphere. And that's what we're trying to, be about. That's the standard.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
Yep, thank you. All right, appreciate it.